Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models and I'm back with you with another kit review or sprue review. First thing I quickly want to say is thank you to all personnel and military people that are served, past and present. Thank you for your service. So I'm going to build this kit for you top people. Thank you very much. It is a bit of an older kit. It is Academy 1/35 scale M2A2 Bradley, Iraq 2003. This kit was 2006 release. It got released a couple of times before that, so it's a little bit of an older kit now. It's nothing new. It is basically a one-piece shell. There is nothing interior. It's just a basic tank. I'm not a tank builder per se. I like my aircraft more, but I do like building a little bit of armour here and there. This is a pretty cheap kit I picked up back then. I've had this in my stash for a little while, so let's get into this one. So it's pretty standard Academy box for the day. We have this side of the box. We have a little bit of a model someone's built, probably from Academy. Looks pretty reasonable, done a decent job. Different languages. This side of the box. Here we have the kit number 13205, dimensions of the tank, 190mm long by 90mm high, so it's not a very big armoured fighting vehicle. Again, this side of the box of the built up model, what it potentially look like. Hopefully I could do something very similar to that, just dust it up, a little bit of grime and wear, so it shouldn't be too difficult to build. This side of the box is pretty much the same. Top opening box. So we have instructions, very old style instructions from Academy. They've upped theirs lately to a little bit of colour. So we have two sprues in this bag. So it's a 2, 4, 6, 7 sprues. The upper hole, which is not bagged, but it's basically big cast. The detail's pretty good. Rubber tracks. Again, I like the plastic tracks or aftermarket, but I can't find anything for this kit whatsoever. So this is just going to be a straight out of the box build, and hopefully I can detail it up myself by my modelling skills. Warnings, a little bit of junk mainly. Basic markings, that's what I like about armoured fighting vehicles. You don't get tons of markings, so these should go down pretty well. Tools needed, it's basic stuff. Okay, we're going to start with the paperwork. Black and white image and black and white papers. History on the Bradley, if you want to read that, pause the video. So here's a pull-out page. As you can see, step 1, wheels, drive sprocket and poly caps. Makes of ease of painting and taking them on and off. This lower hull section and these drive arm or leaf spring arms are already attached, so it's basically just touching this rear piece, these little guide rollers, and the front glacier. So there's only a small amount of parts. The rear of the tank, with the rear door where the troops get in and out of, that just closed that all up because there's no interior, so there's no point having it open unless you want to do a massive amount of scratch built in. Tow cable, this is all your ledger for what to do on the kit. Step 4 is a couple of more bits on the back of the tank, and then it's the back of the tank as well, and mud guards, and then this is lights and fittings and attaching all of that you've built. Paint callouts are at the bottom, and it does give you paint callouts somewhat through the build. Step 6 is the upper holes. A large chunk of it is moulded as one piece, so you only have a handful of small parts to put on it. A lot of small detail parts you see here. Instructions, tools I'll leave to the end. Lights you could probably put on now. Front glacier, that can go in. These side parts can go on. Rear engine deck and stuff, that can go on. These hatches can go on. this part can go on. Spare tracks I would leave to the end. These are your tools and call outs and colours required. As I say, I'll leave one to the end because I find it easier to paint that way. Number 9, which is here, turret ring, and then building up the small little turret assembly, and then it has extra armour plating, smoke smoke dischargers. This section here is part of the basket on the back. Obviously don't forget your barrel. You will have to drill out the hole, I imagine. Hopefully it's one piece or somewhat close to that. What we have here, the side of the vehicle I think is some kind of launcher. I'm not 100% sure. I say I'm not familiar with armour. Hatches, open or closed. You do get a crew figure. I'm not sure if it tells you instructions for painting him. Don't think it does. So I'm going to have to do my references. I say putting a figure in your fighting vehicles makes it look like it's a bit of alive instead of just being plain static. Grab handles by the looks of things. Attaching your turret, an upper hole and lower hole. Rubber tracks going on. Say I'm never a fan of, but I can't find any replacements. Paint schemes is obviously still black or white, but they give you the basic call outs. It's just the sand colour, army sand. So number 8, and number 8 they're calling out for, down here you see it's this sand brown, or different languages. It's just basically US sand colour. And then the markings are very basic. You've got these chevrons, and then the numbers of the tank, 73 or 53. Sprues on the back are the instructions, so just check, make sure everything's there. This section here is part numbers that are not needed. So there's different variants of Bradley out there, and obviously it takes from the same mould. These are the markings. As I say, it's just your chevrons and tank number 53 and 73. So now we're going to go on to plastic parts. These are the wheels assembly, 2 identical sprues, sprue A. I'm not going to do it in any order, I'm just going to grab them as I see them. So we have wheels, drive sprocket, return rollers, bumps. We do have some machine guns, which doesn't call out in the kit. Extra track, it does call out in the kit. Some of this is in the kit. Some guards, I don't remember seeing that. These are like M16s, I'm not sure. Detail looks reasonable for the time, and the kit's very basic. I'm just going to build this out the box and just try and do my best with what I've got. Just hopefully it's a quick, simple build. So here's the detail on the wheels, spare track, detail parts, tow hooks, ammo boxes by the looks of things, grab handles, some kind of little basket. There's those machine guns. Are they M16s? Anyone let me know? We have these detail parts. So there's 2 of those. Next bag. Two sprues in this one. So we have turret detail. Obviously the vision blocks, or commander's vision blocks, are going to need to be painted because there's no clear, I don't think. Lower parts of the turret ring type assembly. It is a very basic curbside kit, basically. Nice, easy, simple build. But we do have some kind of, I wouldn't say slide molded, but complex curve there for that part. Extra armour plates. We have another dry sprocket of sorts. Sprue G. I thought that was some kind of seat, but it's not. I don't know what that is. This would have been slide molded to a degree for those blocks. And the barrel does have a kind of drilled out hole-ish, because that is the barrel there. The end is slightly bent over. I don't want to bend that and break it too much. So be careful when you get that off the sprue. So here's some of the blocks. So we have polycaps, that's for your wheels. This sprue here is for sides. This sprue here is part of your turret. Doors, tools. So here's the doors, the back, tow cable. This is where your dry sprocket will attach to. Some tools. Here is part of your turret. This is sprue D. Fenders, hatches. That's pretty cool. This sprue here is the sides of the vehicle, back door, 2 halves assembly. Can't remember where that goes. Here's the commander figure or crew figure. This piece here. We do get another barrel type. So that's a nice touch. So I'm not sure which one was needed. But this one's not slide molded, but the other one is to a degree. So here's the detail on this side of the kit. Again, I'm not sure if you need these side skirts. I don't think you do. I don't remember. Back door assembly. So basically double skinned armour plate type thing. Here's another side skirt. And this where the back door will sit. This is the back of the vehicle. Some plumbing. Another kind of hatch. Here is your crew figure. He's moulded reasonably well for plastic, I think. I'm not a figure painter, like I mentioned before, so I think he'll be sufficient for what I want him for. Last sprue, and then it's the upper and lower hull and tracks. So we have another vision block type hatch, side triangle piece, I think is for the side of the vehicle, some lights, another wheel, some small detail parts, front glacier parts here, engine covers. I think they're not slide molded, they're not open or anything. Tow cables, or the towing eyes as I call them, looks like handles. So here's kind of a armour plate. I think that goes on the front. Some of the sides. There's those vents. Looks like small handles of sorts. Those towing eyes. Another wheel or set of wheels. Another armour plate, I think. Another hatch. Some more grills. Some more spare track. And this is the upper hull section. Need to take care of this for the turret ring. So it has inside no date, I could see. It's moulded reasonably well, quite a complex mould. I can imagine those side skirts actually probably fit in inside here to make up this detail, because this looks a bit flat, I'm not sure. But detail's pretty cool on the outside. So I'm not an expert on armoured fighting vehicles, so I couldn't tell you how accurate it is, but I think it looks pretty good. Lower hull section, which is bagged up. Rubber tracks. Detail looks okay for rubber tracks. I think there'd be rubber pads on there. I think these would have been rubber pad tracks anyway. So what I'll probably end up doing is just dry brushing the outside of the track with a little bit of silver, and then just give a dusty grime a wash kind of thing, and I think that'd be fine. You do have these old style, if it focuses, come on, locating tabs like it did on Tamir, where you have to use a back of a screwdriver or something to melt them shut. So it's probably done that way. Lower hull section, as I say, these arms are already moulded in place, which is okay. Let's take the centrepiece out. Shouldn't be too difficult. Just use a old chunky pair of nippers to get that off. I wouldn't use your best pair of nippers because it could end up breaking, because it's quite a thick plastic. I might have to go in with a knife actually. That gets rid of that. A little bit of clean up. So this is the lower hull. Similar to the old Tamiya kits back in the day. It's that type of style, moulding and detail. So if you built those kits, you know what you're looking for. So there you are, my friends, another kit from Academy. I think it's pretty good for what it was back in the day. I think that would have been state of the art, but if a manufacturer released that today, I think we'd moan about it. But I think back then it would have held up, and I think it kind of holds up a little bit today. It's still pretty good, I think. So yeah, hopefully I can build this pretty soon. As I say, just keep an eye on the channel, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.